All right, everybody, welcome in. I am WCI3 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty. Thanks for joining us here. We are tracking some severe weather that is currently moving through parts of central Illinois. Okay, we've got some new tornado warnings, some new severe thunderstorm warnings that have been issued here. And this is coming out of the St. Louis area and along I-70 right now. Just to get your bearings on this here, we've got Christian County here, here's Shelby County, here's Effingham County. So we're looking at this storm here that currently has a tornado warning associated with it, okay? And so we are keeping a very close eye on all of this activity as we have, again, the potential for tornadoes to form with this. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to track all of this for you and keep you up to date on what to expect with this activity as we go throughout tonight. But right now, you got Montgomery County here with this tornado warning, and then we're looking down the line, Fayette County there as well. So let's kind of just take a closer look at all of this here. And what we've got is this big line of storms that has held together quite nicely as it's moved through portions of St. Louis area, and now we put a little bit of a loop on this. Notice how it's kind of curving a little bit more to the north and east and not exactly going straight east. So that's why it's coming in here now to portions of Montgomery County there, as we mentioned. That tornado warning that is in effect. Fayette County there as well, but we're looking at a few different areas of rotation along this here, okay? And it looks like they just popped another warning. There's just a lot going on with this entire line where rotation is being spotted here. So let's kind of take a look at things once again where we have got some of that rotation showing up. So here's an area. This is technically just out of our viewing area. Just want to show that entire line. That's down into Marion County, but the area that we're going to be kind of concerned with and watching is going to be down here into portions of Montgomery and Macoupin counties here into Fayette County. This entire line essentially has been showing some of the signs of rotation here over the last kind of hour or so. It's held together pretty good. I'll tell you this, there's some pretty strong winds probably coming into the Vandalia area here as we speak. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up another one of our radar views here to kind of give you an idea of what to expect with this. And we're looking at a lot of stuff on this, but here we go. Here's kind of a wider view of things again. So this whole line here from Greenville down through Vandalia and then stretching southward there, this is what we're concerned about. So that's Effingham. Okay, we're going to be watching Effingham for sure, but what we're looking at are some strong winds within this, and that's what we're seeing here. So on the left side of your screen, you got the reflectivity, on the right side, that's the velocity. Some really strong winds in here. That's where some of the pinks are. So along I-70 here, coming into Vandalia here as we speak, and there's been some rotation here, kind of north of Greenville that we've been watching with this, and some rotation that's kind of sticking out there. So all of that area there along I-70, you definitely need to be paying attention. Now, we've got a camera that we can show you as well, and that's going to be our Effingham camera. Take a look at this, and this is our newest camera that we've actually put in here about a month ago. It's going to give us a pretty good view of the storm as it comes in. You can see kind of on the bottom side there of the screen on the left-hand side is going to be the cross, of course, there along I-57 and 70 there, and then that Petro gas station that's there. That's the other sign that's sticking up there with the lights of the gas prices there. And so you're going to see this take on an interesting structure when this line gets even closer to Effingham. Again, we're still a little bit away from that right now, but again, it's getting closer, okay? So that, again, is a look at the Effingham area and our camera that we've got down there. We're watching that. Tornado warning here is just south of Christian County, okay? So we're talking about portions of Montgomery County and Fayette County there that have this warning. You're seeing some flashes of lightning with that there as well. And this is the area of concern. So I know a lot of you that are watching are probably asking about some other areas, including, what about up here into Champaign, or what about in Springfield, or what about in Decatur? And I can tell you that areas that are kind of to the north, you're not going to see much. So I'm just going to kind of, because I want to show you this, because we often get, the 100 questions of, well, what about me? What about me? What about my area and where I'm at? Here's essentially what I'm going to tell you, okay? That's the real severe weather threat is going to be down here near I-70. Now, I will say this, okay? We do have a few little storms that are trying to pop up here, okay? And I'm going to zoom into those and look at this guy just getting going. I mean, this is the tiny little cell east of Decatur. There's not much there, but you got some rain there north of Oakley and Cerro Gordo. And there may be some additional little cells. See how this little line here of storms are trying to form? We're not expecting much up here, but down here, some of the better ingredients are together. So Montgomery County right now, as this storm kind of lifts off to the north, the potential is there for some of that severe weather. And this is going to come right in to Effingham County here before too long, okay? The severe thunderstorm warning here has also got the tornado possible tag associated with it. So they're saying, hey, yeah, it's a severe thunderstorm, but even the one here in Fayette County, there could be a little spin-up tornado along this. But right now we've got tornado warnings for Montgomery County, severe thunderstorm warnings here for Fayette County in our immediate area. And again, we'll put the loop on this, and you can see how it's moving. And we're going to go back to our Effingham camera here in a bit. Starting to see a little bit more lightning showing up on it, maybe some more of that cloud structure that is showing up here as well. But here it is. This is going to be kind of the main show that we're looking at with this as this lifts off to the north and east. We'll kind of try to do a little bit more analysis on this, take a closer look at what we've got. So far, there have been actually some tornado debris signatures that were showing up a little bit earlier with this, but they've been very brief. They're there, then the next second they're gone. There again is our camera view from Effingham. And so we're kind of looking to the south and west with that view that you see there. And so that's going to give us a pretty good view of the storm when it comes in to Effingham County. Currently, Effingham County, you don't have any warnings in effect. I anticipate at least a severe thunderstorm warning there. And then we'll see if there's any spin-ups there. I will say this. I'm not seeing the same kind of rotation on our storm in Montgomery County that we had a little bit earlier. And so here's what I want to do. I'm going to attempt to actually bring up our velocities on this, and I'm going to run it back here in just a moment and kind of show you where there was a little bit more of that and why we had, I guess, a little bit higher concern about a half an hour ago when those warnings were first issued. But some of the rotation we had earlier, maybe not showing up as clear, but definitely something that we are watching. And so here's what I want to do. We're going to pull up my other radar view here, so bear with me for a second. And we're going to show you what the velocities looked like. So let's see here. All right, so there we go. Okay. Let's punch this up. Okay, and so this is what we were looking at a little bit earlier, kind of near Greenville, and that was earlier when they had some tornado warnings. So you got up here in Montgomery County. I want you to watch how this area here, okay, maybe isn't as strong as we step it through the timeline. We're going to go forward. So there we go. Pretty good little rotation right here, northwest of Greenville. Then that kind of lifts off to the north and east. And we're going to lose some of those characteristics of those reds and greens next to one another. Still some of it there. But watch how this area, as it lifts kind of up into Montgomery County, you don't have those brighter reds or greens in there. You're getting a little bit less on these last few scans. There still might be something in there. It's fairly broad in rotation, but that is the area that we're watching here right now. So you're talking about, Hillsboro there, and then heading over towards Fillmore. But this is what they're actually really concerned about. Look at this brighter pink. These are your 60-mile-per-hour winds in here. So Vandalia, you're starting to get that. North of Mulberry Grove, you're starting to get that. There's Ramsey. You're going to get some of that here. And again, then down the line, then you're looking at Altamont and Effingham before too long. We'll watch Beecher City, Edgewood, and maybe clipping southern portions of Shelby County before too long as well. Okay, so that's essentially what we've got going on here. The severe weather threat, especially for areas here along and to the south of portions of I-70. Okay, we're looking at right along the I-70 area where we've got that potential. So we're going to have to monitor that closely as that lifts off to the north and to the east. Now, again, for areas up near Champaign and Decatur and Springfield, we're just not seeing that same severe weather threat for you guys as what we are seeing down here to the south. So we're going to focus our attention on, obviously, the storms that are down here. These are pretty much going to ride right along I-70. Okay, they're not going to make it much further to the north. But as I mentioned, there are a couple little cells here that have tried to form, and we've got some rain there, but obviously the big show is still across our southern counties. And as this kind of gets into the Effingham County area, then we're talking about kind of our main core of our, what we call our DMA, our main counties that we really have to cover. And so we're going to have to watch that carefully to see if any additional warnings are issued. So right now, there's still a tornado warning in effect there for Montgomery County. Let's see if the Weather Service, what they're saying about this. Again, they're not going to extend the tornado watch north. It's not going to go north to Champaign or Danville or anything like that, but you may have some rain. Okay. All right, let's take a look here at our storms that we are monitoring closely. Fayette, Montgomery counties down into Marion County. They've got that severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. Let's kind of put a loop on this. We're going to take off all the data that's on there so that we can get kind of a better look at the storms. And here they are moving to the north and east. Let's see what the Weather Service is saying. They're continuing the severe thunderstorm warning. They've canceled the severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for Montgomery County. Still, that tornado warning in effect. They're kind of dwindling things down here a little bit. Fayette County still has that warning in effect as well. The tornado warning not in effect for Bond County anymore. So again, Vandalia now, and then coming into St. Elmo before too long. How about that view from our camera again? In Effingham, that's it right there. Let me see if I can't kind of pan this thing around a little bit. We'll take a look at some of the views here. That should be a pretty good view there as we kind of look to the southwest. I mean, that should be looking kind of just right into that thing. But let me see if I can't move the camera just a little bit. Look up to the sky a little bit here. We'll pan to the left. You're going to see that just the kind of that whole shelf looking structure to the clouds kind of coming in. And so we're just going to kind of watch here as this whole line pushes to the north and east. Okay, we got something new. New severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, so that's going to be in effect now for Effingham. Okay, so Effingham now you have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. So our camera view down there, this is a very large severe thunderstorm warning area. I mean, this thing covers several counties. And we're going to get you that data here. We're going to have a great view of this thing as it comes in down near Effingham. That is for sure. Okay, let's get back to it. Here's the new severe thunderstorm warning. And look at this. This does clip southern portions of Shelby County. Okay, there's a little sliver right here. Here's all of Effingham County here. Then I guess it even kind of clips, that would be Cumberland County there as well. Little sliver of Cumberland County, sliver of Shelby County, all of Effingham County, as this line quickly races off here to the north and to the east. And so if you're watching us down there right now, yeah, that storm, we've got some people, I'm reading some of you guys' comments over here in the chat. Yeah, pretty tough storm down there in Vandalia right now. Family down in Hillsboro. So yeah, nothing for Champaign. You might get a little bit of rain. Again, we're going to watch Cumberland County. Again, I'm just reading some of your guys' comments here. Teutopolis. We're going to be watching the Teutopolis area here for sure. Okay. Okay, so again, we're watching this whole area moving off here to the north and east, keeping an eye on all of the severe weather potential. And it's a fairly strong line that is rolling through here. And again, I've got my eye on our Effingham cameras. And so we're going to go back to those once we start to see something a little bit more on there. But I just want you to know that if we're not talking about your area, that's usually a good sign. If we are talking about your area, then you definitely should be paying attention. So this storm here has the potential for winds of 60 miles an hour, okay, and maybe some hail up to quarter size. Now, get this on the movement of this. It is moving off to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and stop the loop on it, and then we'll show you the time of arrival that this whole thing is going to be. So we're going to trace along the leading edge of this and just kind of bring it out. And 45 miles an hour is going to put this right there. We'll throw the cities on here now, and we're talking about St. Elmo, 654 in the Altamont area, 702 Blair, 706 Harder, 713 Effingham, 717. So you're talking less than a half an hour, and this thing is going to be on top of you. Possibly down the line, Newton, Preston, Greenup, here in about an hour or so, if it would stay on its course. So this is the general direction, going to ride right along I-70 and then hit there, obviously, where 70 and 57 come together. They're in Effingham and along Highway 45 and stretching off there to the east. So that's kind of a good list there of timing with all of this. Okay, so answering some of your questions, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. All right, Cumberland, Coles County line. Yep, we're going to watch that. Power outages. There's definitely the potential for power outages here with these storms. I mean, there's a definite possibility because there are some really strong winds associated with this. So let's clear all this off now. So again, this has a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag associated with it. So I'm saying anywhere along this line, you can't rule out the possibility of even a tornado to spin up with this, but you're definitely going to have the really strong winds. Let's look at it here. So we're kind of on the edge. We're really kind of on the edge of of the radar with this. We might have to switch over to the St. Louis radar. It's kind of on the southern end for the Lincoln radar, but you can see here, see these winds, the strong winds, these brighter colors that are showing up here. That's where you're going to have some of those stronger winds within this entire line. So again, the potential for 60 mile an hour winds. You've got, again, those little spin up tornadoes is a possibility. They're probably going to be canceling here, if they haven't already, that Montgomery County tornado warning. Let me take a look here because we're starting to get in some reports. Let's see here. A lot of damage reports out of the St. Louis area with these storms. I'm trying to see if there's anything closer here. St. Louis, they've even got flooding ongoing there because of that. So yeah, the tornado signatures on this are kind of lessening, but it's something that we're keeping an eye on with this as this whole line moves in. We're going to watch this come right into Effingham. I'll show you Effingham here again. There it is. Seeing the clouds come in, we'll have a pretty cool view of this as it rolls across the area. If you're down into portions of Effingham County, you're into Fayette County right now. You just had that storm roll through. So next, you're talking Beatrice City, Altamont, Edgewood. And again, this may clip portions of southern Shelby County and then eventually down the line to, Cumberland County. That'd be Neoga, Sigel, Stewardson, Strasburg, Cowden, Beatrice City. all of those areas there potentially as that kind of lifts off to the north and east. So several counties here with the warnings. There's, some of these areas actually got hit earlier with the first round of storms that moved through. Looks like they've continued the tornado warning for Marion County. So again, that's technically out of our area. It's going to be just south of Fayette County there, but I still see some rotation on that Marion County storm. We'll click back to that. And so the Marion County storm, just to kind of show you guys which one we're talking about, that's going to be this guy down here. That's technically out of our area. We don't really actually cover that, but we're just going to, for intensive purposes, kind of watch it because that may eventually come into extreme southern portions of Effingham County. But right now we've got this line right along I-70 from Vandalia, and then heading into Effingham here, we'll probably start to see kind of a shelf cloud structure start to come into Effingham if you look to the west. Let's look at the lightning here. We just threw in the lightning, and you can see how many how many lightning strikes are there. And oftentimes you can tell the intensity of a storm by how much lightning is associated with it. If there's an increase in lightning, then you're going to have the definite potential for those storms to fire up even more. And so notice the tornado warned storm, a lot of lightning down there. Our one here that's in Fayette County coming into Effingham County, there's definitely some lightning in there, but notice the concentration is a little bit more with our storm down here, Marion County, where that tornado warning is in effect. Altamont, yeah, probably hearing the rumbles of thunder out there with this, and that thing is going to be just cranking its way across and into parts of Effingham County here before too long. This moves off here to the north and east, right along I-70, and we're going to see the storm. It's kind of cool that we're going to have a camera down there for the first time, really watching storms come in. We haven't really had a great vantage point down to the south yet, and now we do with our camera view here in Effingham. So we're just going to keep checking back on this guy and watch this storm as it comes across. Again, off in the distance, there's the cross, and there's the old Petro gas station there that you see as you travel up there along 57. And so we're going to watch this thing come in, and it looks like maybe even a little bit of the potential for some strengthening with this here as well. Jack Griffin, he's in here with us here right now.
I think I got my microphone working, I think. Yeah. So should be up.
See if Jack's in.
How you doing?
There we go. Good, man. Jack was flying in a plane today.
Yeah, was in a plane today.
Part of a future story, correct?
Yep. We're going to hopefully get that on the air for tomorrow. But I was kind of watching the storms because we were kind of concerned about it in Springfield, how that first round was moving. And luckily it stayed south of us. So we didn't have a problem. But it was pretty interesting to see that off in the distance when we're up there, you could see the the clouds and tops and everything. But these storms here, these are the ones that the models picked up on much better. That initial round this morning kind of caught them off guard. But they're handling this one, even the timing, very well.
Yeah, the timing really good on this. Even the position too. We kind of thought the whole time we'd be kind of across our southern counties, and that's definitely what's happened here.
Yep.
Just take a quick glance and see if these other. There was also the models did pick up on a couple of these little guys, and you can see here. It's almost like some other little cells that are trying to form along. I don't know if there's an outflow up there or something. But
I'll be honest, because I think there was, because as I was driving in from Springfield, just got in just a little bit ago, it felt much cooler than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And so it must have been the outflow from the earlier stuff that I kind of cooled things off, because I was standing either on the tarmac at the airport where it was really hot, and we had a U.S. Air Force jet that was there, kind of like blowing a bunch of hot air, and then sitting in the plane, from 1928 where there's no air conditioning. I think it was pretty hot. So
90 degrees out there, sitting in a plane.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So there must be a boundary out there, because I put the windows down when I got back into Champaign, and that must be what those are forming on.
That's what those are forming on there. So again, we're not as concerned about areas up here near Champaign or Danville or Decatur or even Springfield, But the main show again along I-70, and this thing's going to be coming right into Effingham here before too long. They've got a severe thunderstorm warning associated with it, with even the tornado possible tag that they had on that as well. So it is something that we're just kind of watching here, see what the Weather Service has been saying. Still got the severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible until 7:30 p.m. there for Effingham County.
It's just another one of these, what we call an MCV, a mesoscale convective vortice, and it was kind of spinning. We had the one this morning that spun on through, and it just held on to its strength, and that's how we were able to get that early round of storms down in the same area. But there was another spin behind it, and this is what's now coming on through.
Yeah, it's great. They've really got a lot of rain down there, a few different rounds, and so then here comes the latest one right into Effingham. Let's show you the view again from the camera. Again, just kind of looking like dark skies there, and you kind of get that for a while until that thing gets right on top, and then you maybe see some definition of a shelf cloud that may start to move in. But
I think you could actually see one there at the very bottom. I think it's pretty faint.
Yeah,
but
it could be there. So you're going to see that down there. The lightning is probably starting to pick up a little bit, and you're going to see again this whole area. Possibly see that. Okay, I got a new tornado warning here.
Really? Oh yeah.
Yep, and it's going to be for that southern
part
cell
of Effingham.
It's that Marion County cell we were talking about. That I said, well, it may clip southern portions of Effingham County, and that makes sense now. So yeah, we're gonna have to take a look at that guy here. I got to see which. We're in such a kind of what radar should we be using kind of area that's down here.
Yeah. Yeah. You could pick and choose pretty much between Lincoln or
probably be switching over to. Let me try St. Louis here.
Yeah, St. Louis might be like just good enough for a little bit before you have to go over to
Owensville, Indiana.
That one's all right.
Let's see here if we can. Velocity. Velocity.
Okay, so the rotation's there.
So that's what they're looking at, essentially. Oh, I don't have the radar up. Here we go. Let's do that.
Yep.
Okay, so that's kind of what they're looking at there, some of this rotation. And so they extended that warning. So again, this is Marion County here, and then you get over here, and the rotation is obviously right here in the middle part of your screen. And then you get up here, and then you're clipping now Effingham County. So the actual warning itself, the tornado warning, is in effect for southeastern portions of Effingham County, Mason, Edgewood, Bishop, and Elliottstown to Lucas. Okay, so that is the area of concern. Basically, as we go throughout to the course of the next hour or so, this area here, as it lifts off to the north and east. So a lot of times they do these warnings that much larger than the area where a tornado is going to go through. When they put these polygons out, it doesn't mean the tornado is going to go through that entire area. They're just taking into account the potential for the thing to shift a little bit. So if you just kind of take a straight line, you're just kind of barely clipping into southeastern Effingham County there.
Yeah. So this is that and again that rotation is far south of our viewing area right now, but it's coming into the southern part of it, so that's why we're talking about it. But they've had there's more flooding that you said out of the St. Louis area where those storms are coming from.
Yeah, quite a bit of flooding down there for sure. And they definitely had some wind damage there. And I think they definitely had some better structures on some of the radar signatures from earlier as well. Let's just do this here. So that is our Owensville one. Let's just do the St. Louis and see if it kind of shows anything different. So it's got that.
It's still.
It's kind of on the edge there as well. So that's St. Louis, and then we come back up here to our Lincoln radar. It's really on the edge.
Yeah, it's really on.
Much. So again, we're going to watch that rotation. Again, that's now down into, what is that? It'd be, is that Clay County down there?
Yeah.
So yeah, Clay
Yeah.
County with the tornado warning along with Effingham County. So that's into the rotation is really now into Clay County, and so then we'll just watch that kind of lift to the north and east. Eventually, kind of curving right up here. So this is the area of concern. We know we got a lot of people watching us down there right now. Not seeing much on.
Yep, just got some. Lauren says rumbles of thunder near Altamont. Leah Andrea says north of Altamont getting dark and rumbling. Jackie Martin asked, will Mattoon and Charleston get hit? I mean, it'll be pretty close.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to get some rain.
Yeah.
But like, as you can see here.
The warnings themselves will most likely stay.
And it looks like kind of the northern part of this line maybe not as strong.
Yeah.
And that's what would eventually kind of be coming up there. I know that this warning goes clear up into here, but they just kind of did a big mass,
That's to be careful.
warning just to kind of be extra careful here.
Yeah.
We'll see if this area can strengthen at all. If it does.
Because that's how the earlier stuff, what happened was the warnings were along the northern part of it, and then once it kind of started to rotate more, then that just really just fell apart more. And
definitely got some instability out there. Of course, the sun's setting here in an hour or so. But there's definitely some energy out there for these storms to work off of. So we'll have to just kind of keep an eye on them. But right now, definitely the strongest storm coming into extreme southern portions of Effingham County. Because even here, we were talking about Effingham there, getting the storm. Right now you've got a little bit of rain out there, but it kind of looks like that's not looking as intense as it once did.
Yeah.
But you're definitely starting to see the rain there in Altamont. And again, look how there's darker reds, or I should say brighter reds are kind of showing up there, coming out of Marion County into Clay County into southern portions of Effingham County where that tornado warning is. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we can pull up on this guy. Okay, so we got the strong winds, yeah?
Yeah, there's some strong winds with it, and the rotation is pretty broad where the warning is now. I mean, it doesn't look nearly as impressive as it once did, but that's some strong winds making it down to the surface.
Yeah, so strong winds there near Altamont right now, between St. Elmo there. Drove that stretch along I-70 many a times, and so that's what's going to be coming into Effingham here. So we're gonna watch the winds here. Down here is where some of that rotation is showing up a little bit better. I'm going to switch back over to the Owensville radar. Bear with me as that kind of pops up. And so again, this is where some of that rotation is. Looks like there's a storm chaser down there right now.
Ross, yeah, he's in good spot.
Ross down there checking it out. So again, here's Effingham County right here, the sliver, the southeastern kind of third there of Effingham County is where that tornado warning is, basically because of this guy right here. That's going to lift off here to the north and east. And so you can see the rest of us, you don't have much. Okay?
Effingham down, city of Effingham, you're north of there. You're going to get some strong winds, but as of right now, that tornado warning is south of you. But as you're kind of just looping it here, again, you can see that we've got those brighter reds signifying that we got some not only heavy rain in there too, but definitely some strong winds. I'm sure we've got even some hail that's showing up too, but today was definitely more of a wind type of day for sure.
Yeah, so strong winds, Effingham down to Edgewood there, and again through Clay County. They're going to see that, but I don't know. I just don't see it getting too much further to the north than that.
Right.
But you're definitely going to see those stronger winds that are going to come punching in to Effingham before too long. We're just gonna. I've got our view on our. I can't quite tell. I'm gonna punch up. I think I'm starting to see that shelf a little bit more.
I think I see it. Yeah.
So let's click that up. And so now you're looking at the Effingham view. There it is.
Yep. So there it is.
So that's going to be the kind of the leading edge of those stronger winds coming right across and into Effingham here before too long. And it'll take on that long spaceship looking structure. And so what we look for, if there's any kind of lowerings along there, for a wall cloud or a quick little spin up tornado. And so we're going to have a better view of this here in the next kind of 10 to 15 minutes as this whole thing starts to kind of lift off to the north and east.
I'm just glad that we have this camera down here.
Yeah. I tell you, yeah, it's gonna be nice to have this camera view here. The nice thing is we're gonna be able to move it around, kind of get some shots here.
Yeah, but this is the perfect shot right now, the perfect angle as
yeah.
it just comes right on in. But for the most part, though, yeah.
So St. Louis again, they had some damage there, but so far we haven't heard anything with this kind of coming in. But yeah, this view that you're going to see here, this thing is going to get closer to the camera, and you're going to see that structure, that wall, or I should say the shelf cloud there.
And I don't see much. Well, now we're starting to get a little closer with some flashes of lightning with the contrast. Sometimes you can see it a little bit better, unless it's just my eyes. They're they're pretty messed up. But I think I have been seeing some flashes of lightning as this is coming on in. It's there. Lightning's there.
And definitely quite a few lightning strikes, especially
on the warned
on that tornado warned cell.
Yeah.
Boy, it's got a ton of lightning strikes on it. So there it is, coming. It's going to be coming right there across I-70 and I-57, and boy, that thing! I tell you, if you're out there, you got that view to the west, and you can see that thing again. I like to call it the Independence Day.
Yep.
Look at that thing. So we would look for any lowerings along there. And I'm not seeing anything.
No, it's pretty high off the ground too.
Yeah, very high off the ground there as well. But here's what I want to do. Just real quick, wow, that thing, you can really kind of see the
movement. Now you can see like the movement. It's coming in fast.
It is coming in fast.
The speed of this is, I think, was like 45 miles an hour. Is that how fast it was?
Okay, I'm just going to pan along this just real quick because I want you to kind of see how this whole thing like stretches across a long part of the sky. Okay, see that right there?
So
there's the edge of it there. Here's the edge of the wall cloud. And then we bring it back, and this thing is literally about to take over our camera here in a little bit. But look how it keeps going that whole line. Then we get the other edge of it. It's a really kind of a cool view that we get to see.
Especially when it's got the really turquoise blues behind it with all the rain and the potential hail.
You can really see the movement there now.
Yep.
And even the little
raindrops.
That's the first raindrop there. And so there it is. And you're going to see this thing kind of come across. The winds pick up right on the leading edge of this thing, and you get to look at the birds flying around. The birds are like,
they're getting out of there.
But
boy, oh boy, they're getting out of there.
Yeah. So we can just watch this thing. If I can pan up, yeah. So we're going to look like right up into this thing now. Look at that thing as it kind of just comes right across.
I'm glad that we have this pan tilt zoom camera right here.
But now we're getting the raindrops, or
maybe
we'll try to bring it back down. So we're going to lose some of the definition because the rain's going to come through, but you can kind of see, there it is.
There it is.
Okay, again, hard to see any kind of a lowering or anything with it, but you are definitely now seeing the very strong winds.
Yep, you can see the trees moving. The camera itself is shaking now too. So, you could definitely see.
Yeah, look at that leading edge there. Just look at that leading edge right there. I mean, it just looks like a wall, a dark cloud wall of rain, heavy rain, and the strong gusty winds. And you're going to see our camera bounce around a little bit because it's going to get hit by those gusty winds as well. Again, a live view from our Effingham camera right now as the storms pretty much overtake it.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to be kind of getting into the heart of that storm that's coming right over Effingham.
You can see the trees at the bottom of the screen too, really, really swaying in the wind. And we know that camera is really anchored down.
It is anchored down pretty good.
Our coworker broke his foot with putting it up. So we know there's a lot of weight on it.
So let's see here. So you can see some of the. Bear with me. I'm just wow. The thing is bouncing around. I was trying to get a kind of a shot of some of the trees there, and you can see there's the trees really kind of kicking and moving around. Strong gusty winds and the heavy rainfall right into Effingham here right now. You can see the sheets of rain coming across the parking lot down there.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gusty winds. I would say that this would be, probably in that 40-mile-an-hour range, wind gusts.
Yeah, definitely those strong winds there. You can see those smaller trees kind of waving around there in the wind pretty good. And our camera, again, bouncing around there. Again, that's in Effingham. Again, our camera's on top of the hospital there.
HSHS.
Yep, HSHS there, the hospital. So now we don't see that structure because now we're in the storm. We're just kind of panning it around a little bit. So this is back to the original view. You can see there's the Petro sign there off in the distance. And so that's looking southwest. We'll just bring it back around.
You can see the horizontal rain bands on there too.
Okay, so now you can kind of see the leading edge now that's going away from us. Again, here's also the helicopter. It's that light there is up there for the helicopter, the helipad up there for the hospital. That's what that light is. So we'll try to stay off of that. Again, that leading edge there now continuing to push off to the east through the rest of Effingham County. And again, looks like we definitely had some gusty winds as it kind of rolled through the area. Strong winds there, but we'll have to wait and see if there's any damage or anything. But again, pretty intense storm that just kind of rolled through. And yeah, the thing really kind of picking up its speed and momentum there, as that thing is already that thing's going to be kind of coming into southern portions of Shelby County, Stewartson before too long here. Let's see if there's any winds in that.
Yeah, so the strongest winds pretty much have now passed through Effingham. It's still breezy, but that leading edge was really where things were going to be the strongest. That rotation is really not there much more.
Let's see if we can click over to Lincoln radar and see if we see anything.
Okay, because we're just on the edge of 3 different radars, pretty much right there.
Click back up to. See there. So some stronger winds, kind of on that southern portion of that whole complex there. Let's see what I got up. So let's see here. So as I mentioned, I just wanted to kind of show this because we need to get some people up there into Shelby County. That storm coming in Stewartson there may have some gusty winds, a few lightning strikes there. We go along this. That line, again, just pushed through Effingham. We watched it happen on our camera there live. Just a couple of lightning strikes. There's not a lot of lightning there, but watch what happens as we go just south of that. Wow, look at all those lightning strikes.
Yeah, and that's where that's what the tornado warning is, and that's going to be most likely going to be where the new severe thunderstorm warning, if they extend that out, it's definitely going to be more to the east rather than just off to the northeast. It's going to definitely. I can't imagine we'd be seeing too much of the strongest winds north of I-70.
Yeah. So you've got kind of right there along 57 there, south of I-70, but 57 there in southern portions of Effingham County, called the southern edge of that. So Edgewood, and that's going to kind of clip along there south of Effingham. And again, we're just kind of watching this with Stewartson. You probably had a little bit of wind there. That's not severe, but just kind of the strongest part of the storm still definitely down here near Mason and lifting off there to the northeast. That's kind of what we're looking at here with this wider view of things. Let's see if these other guys have gotten going at all. So there's a couple little pop up little showers here and there, but nothing crazy. A few more along that boundary, and there it is. So Shelbyville, if you're on the lake, you might catch a little bit of that, but maybe even some small hail there west of Stewartson showing up. That's that purple color that you see there. But it's definitely becoming a little bit more, maybe less organized.
Yeah, I mean it's just a blob now of just storms now at this point.
Yeah.
And you've also got these storms that have kind of formed out along and ahead of it too, which can sometimes eat away, and we just don't have that nice defined arc of a storm like we had just a little bit ago.
There's just a lot going on here.
Yeah.
You've got, if you take a look at it, you got, okay, there's a nice little storm there. Okay, maybe here. Okay, maybe something up here. But they're just becoming a little bit more messy. And then, like you said, all these little cells popping out even further ahead of it, out to Newton County there as well. And so this is all just going to lift off here. I'll put a little bit of a loop on it now. And you can see how maybe it once had a little bit better structure. Let's even go back an hour.
And, definitely.
And so it had some definite better structure earlier and kind of weakening a little bit there. But we'll have to watch this. I'm going to keep a close eye on this little guy here. It's kind of coming through Stewartson right now. I bet it's dropping some good rain, Strasburg. And yeah, there's Windsor up there. And then, of course, Mattoon and Charleston. Actually,
that one might,
see what our camera now might have to be the Mattoon Charleston area here. Can't see anything there. So we'll be keeping a close eye on our cameras down into Coles County. We'll start to see that structure possibly of a shelf cloud begin to move in down that way as well. We still have that tornado warning in effect for extreme southeastern portions of Effingham County as that little area lifts to the north and east. Okay, so again, we don't think that really much of this gets, any further north than where we're at right now. It is probably going to be, definitely closer to I-70. It may clip into portions of Coles County as far as some of these storms go. But right now, I'm watching this area here from Stewartson, Strasburg, and then eventually that might kind of come into Neoga, then down the line, maybe that kind of clips Paradise south of Mattoon and into Charleston. But this whole complex here is going to stay south of I-70. A lot of that is going to stay south of I-70, it looks like. So that's some good news, is that kind of stays out of our area.
Someone was asking where.
Hail in Stewartson. I thought there would be some hail there.
Yeah.
So that's what that little pink color is that we're looking at there. So somebody just said hail. Joe says hail in Stewartson.
Elizabeth asked where in Effingham was the circulation.
It actually wasn't in
There
Effingham.
wasn't any in Effingham.
Yeah, it was south.
South in the Effingham County.
Wonder how big was that hail down in Stewartson? I'm going to guess probably like some pea-size hail.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't too big. All right, let's see here. I'll whip around our camera in Effingham there. See if we can see anything. Off to the east now. Nope, just kind of dark skies. So we look into the storm. We'll see if they carry any more of those tornado, or I should say severe thunderstorm warnings off to the north at all. I mean, there's definitely Stewartson, Strasburg, that little area of some hail coming towards Neoga before too long. we'll watch that guy. I mean, that northern edge of that definitely strengthened a little
That
bit.
one did strengthen over the past few radar scans. Everything else down there is just kind of messy. I mean, it looks like you've got like somewhat of a hook, but I mean that's not really.
Yeah, very broad.
Yeah.
Broad rotation.
Because it's more just getting messy now as storms have formed ahead of it. You know, the Newton area, those storms near Dietrich, you know, those kind of really weren't there beforehand, and now now that they are, it's just going to make things kind of messy for that to still keep its rotation. But it's broad, so we'll keep on watching it. But we have another only 8 minutes left of that warning too. That one goes until 7:30, I believe, the tornado warning. And
Pea size now, it's quiet.
getting weird.
Getting weird.
It's in Strasbourg now.
Okay, yep. So that's what we're seeing on radar. It's a pretty good little storm there. Coming right over Strasbourg. So let's take a look at that. Zoomed in on our radar view. So maybe some hail that's out there. That's going to lift off to the north and east, some pea-sized hail. So Neoga, even Windsor, you're going to get on at least some of the rain here before too long. And then, hey, that reminds us of December. Windsor,
Yep.
Gaze to Mattoon,
Yep.
the tornado that occurred back in December there. Again, we're not seeing any rotation with that, but let's just kind of show you. Even I'm not seeing too much in the way of like winds here. Again, what we look for are kind of bright greens, and I'll show you the difference. You know, greens and kind of these blues here, and that's what's kind of coming through on south of Effingham. That's actually where there's probably some stronger winds there near Watson, and lifting off to the north and east. Of course, we're also looking quite a bit higher up because of the radar beam where we're at. Let's just kind of see what our Owensville, Indiana radar shows. Really surprised they've still kept that tornado warning so far, but I mean, there's a couple, you know,
little
very
spins there.
I mean, it's just a mess
Yeah.
of things here. You know, all of these little areas here essentially show, oh, okay, maybe something's rotating a little bit, but you would want something a little bit more confined, and you're not seeing that. But definitely some very broad rotation, nothing that's significant. I anticipate them dropping that warning here, letting it expire in the next few minutes for sure.
And then our larger severe thunderstorm warning along outside of it, that goes till 7:45, I believe. And
continue the tornado warning until 7:30.
Yep, so we got 6 minutes.
6 minutes of that, and the severe thunderstorm warning until
7:30 also.
7:30 as well.
Okay. So we'll see what they do here for the next, in just a few minutes here, what they decide to do. Because we're getting to the edge of that warning box.
Bethany getting a little bit of rain.
Could have possibly reached Jasper and Crawford counties. So those are right next to these storms. So I would definitely assume that they are down the line to get the storm activity. Whether or not we have warnings still with it, we'll still have to wait and see. But I have to imagine that they probably would have another, at least batch of another severe thunderstorm warning that would come out of these. But tornado warning wise, not exactly sure. It's
just kind of, I mean,
just
if
blob
something,
now.
you know, you're gonna have to, you know, find something that kind of gets out on its own, starts to take on a better structure, and we're just not quite seeing that yet. But the storms are going to be coming in there to Cumberland County, Newton County, and eventually Coles County there is going to get some of that. Here's that storm there that just moved through Stewart's and Strasbourg. Coming into Windsor next, and there's Mattoon and Charleston, which we can show you the camera. That is Effingham. hold on here. That is Effingham. And I'll show you, at least I thought I had that tune. Oh, a little,
So it's there.
little structure.
Definitely not as a good of looking structure as what it was like in Effingham, but still very cool, nonetheless. So we got just a few more minutes left of the actual severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings. And oh yeah, it doesn't look very good down there now where the warning is.
Yeah, they may, we'll see what they do
Yeah.
here. Click back over to the radar. Definitely some lightning, good old-fashioned thunderstorms here. What's going to happen is the instability is going to continue to wane, the energy for these storms to feed off of. As the sun goes down, the heating of the day goes away, you lose that, and that's exactly what's happening and why we probably won't see a whole lot more beyond this, as you know, we're a half an hour from sunset, and you know, you lose all of that energy. So yeah, it may storm Mattoon and Charleston, but whether it's severe or not, it still remains to be seen. Definitely starting to see some of that lightning kick up a little bit more.
That's on our Effingham camera.
Yeah, our Effingham camera there showing some of those lightning strikes showing up, basically with kind of that southern edge of that line of storms coming in. So again, how can we determine if a storm is, you know, getting stronger or is strong? It's actually how electrified is it? You know, how much electricity we dealing with here? And so notice how there's quite a bit in this confined area here in southern Effingham County. Then we come up to or Stewartson. There's some good lightning in that one there as well, but definitely fewer lightning strikes than some of the other areas. So, matter of fact, so let's see if I can't count those up. So you've got 17 lightning strikes there with that storm kind of over the Stewartson area. And then if we come down and do the same thing down here, and we will take a little query of how many there, and you've got 84. So you've got definitely more lightning going on down there, indicating the stronger part of our storm. We're 40 seconds away from the potential expiration of these warnings. We'll see if they extend anything. They would have issued something by now if they were going to take anything to the next level. Excuse me. So a lot of these warnings are probably going to expire here before too long. Here's the last 45 minutes of the view of the storms.
You can even just tell the number of lightning strikes have really, when you had them turned on there for a second, the lightning strikes look like they've really gone down in number drastically. Okay, so we got them. No warnings as of right now.
So
they canceled them.
You can see here. The only warnings, they're clear off into Indiana and Ohio and Kentucky now. So that's kind of the wide view of things to kind of give you an idea. Again, not seeing much, but I will say this. The models did do a good job of this, and I think we're starting to see this little line kick up, you know, a little bit more to the north. So you know, here's a little guy that was trying to get going there near Seymour. And so you know, we're not thinking there's going to be much in the way of severe weather with this. But yeah, now Springfield, you've got these little storms that are starting to pop up here. But the severe weather threat hopefully should be lowering, but we're probably going to see some thunderstorms and see some lightning from all of these here.
Yep, it was one of those days where it was like it was hot and humid, and we were able to do it. Looks like tomorrow's round of storms would probably be
pretty late.
Yeah.
I'm going to be super capped off tomorrow during the day. Don't have enough force and lift to get that cap to break. Be warm. It'd be really windy tomorrow. Then the storms may be coming in late tomorrow night, but by that point, again, the instability is beginning to weaken. And so we're just going to watch things for you the next couple of days. That is a view again in Mattoon. Notice how that structure, what would have been kind of a shelf cloud, is more raggedy. It's not as well defined, and so that's the indication that that is weaker than what it was kind of when it was when the similar one was moving down through Effingham. You can definitely see some of the maybe on the left side of your screen, and that's going to be kind of the heavier
That's
rain.
just your rain coming
Your
down.
rain coming down the left side of the screen, where it's a little bit darker above a couple of the buildings there on the left. And so, yeah, you guys are going to catch some of that here in the next half an hour or so. But
Yep.
boy, it's even weakening
Yeah.
even more from what it was. Remember, it looked pretty good. The hail core that was there over Stewart's and Strasburg, and
And now it's just
kind of falling apart.
falling apart.
Pretty weak here. So we will just continue to watch these storms as they kind of roll through. I'll keep the stream going here. We're going to take a little bit of a break here, and we'll just let the radar stream continue to show this. And if any other warnings or anything get issued, then of course we'll pop on. But we are going to go ahead and take a little break here.
Yep.
Jack's going to decompress after his flight in a 1928
Ford Tri-Motor.
Ford Tri-Motor plane.
Yeah. Yep.
It is the newest in our arsenal of storm tracking. No, I'm
Yes.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, go out and fly in that thing right now.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh boy.
I flew it for a little bit, so I have some minor experience in it.
Well, check out Jack, and do you think that'll air tomorrow or next week?
Trying to do tomorrow. We're gonna see if we can try to do it tomorrow. So.
Okay. Well, tune in. You can see Jack flying an airplane, something that should scare everyone
Yes.
in the air and on the ground.
Yes.
All right, we'll keep you up to date with this. Again, we'll continue the stream here for you just for a little bit, and just in case another warning pops up. If not, thanks for tuning in. And as always, we got you covered here at WCA3 with severe weather coverage. Have a good night, and hopefully we don't have to talk to you again. That means severe weather will not be around anymore. So we'll see you then. Thanks for joining us.